Hello and welcome to another episode of Untitled KKB Show, where we talk about video games and nothing but, with a little slice of anime somewhere in between while also figuring out the title of the show. I am your host, Mr. Toffee, Jonathan Toyat, and we've got quite a bunch of games we want to get through and some pieces of news. Alright, we've got some pretty insane piece of news from Square Enix themselves. It's a big one that was announced during the weekend. From producer Naoki Hamaguchi of the Final Fantasy VII Remake series. So according to the piece of news, I'm just going to switch my camera right here. You can probably see it right there. Alright, this is translated, or maybe, I think this was actually official, yes, from Naoki Hamaguchi himself. The FF7 Remake series will be expanding to major platforms moving forward. PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S, Nintendo Switch 2, and PC, we are committed to making sure players can enjoy each part in a way that suits their lifestyle. As we approach the final part, I am truly grateful that more people will have the opportunity to experience the world we've poured our hearts into. Now that's pretty big news right there, because Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, they have been PlayStation exclusive. Remake was exclusive to PS4 and then PS5, and then it was on PC a year or two later. And then for Rebirth, that was PlayStation 5 exclusive for a year until it got ported onto PC. So I believe it was PlayStation and Square Enix were banking on selling a lot of copies of FF7 Remake and Rebirth. That didn't pan out so well because according to past reports about the game's sale for the past 6 months since their respective launches, the game performed below par. Well, to Square Enix and Sony PlayStation, it was like short of a couple of million from their projections. Which is why they are planning to sell, I guess this news just came up. So in other words, Final Fantasy VII, the third game, I think they're just hinting that it's going to be multi-platform. So it's not just exclusive to PlayStation 5, which means Square Enix may have full reign after PlayStation and Sony did not deliver in terms of exclusivity. I think this could be a company arrogance thing per se, because they want to actually go back to the bygone days when FF7 first came out. That one sold gangbusters before it got ported onto PC years later. Like 997, I believe, or was it earlier? That game came out, that got a huge marketing push from PlayStation's side, and then it just sold a ton because of the graphics and all that. I don't think people are going to be fooled again by that sort of advertising. So in this case, I mean, yes, it is this remake. I'm not saying they shouldn't have done a remake or a rebirth. Yes, I mean, if they want to make money, yes, but to expect those kind of numbers like back in the day till now, expectations have changed. So the fact that the projections for that much for that many millions just for PlayStation alone, it's pretty insane. And we shouldn't be surprised that they actually got, they didn't get the numbers they want, and thus this announcement came in. So after a lot of back and forth thing, I guess Square Enix just they decide to just after looking at the losses those two games have made, then they're gonna have to go back to square one, where we're just gonna make our game multi-platform. I think that's the core thing, is the Final Fantasy brand itself. Is it as big as it is then? No, it's not. In fact, FF16, as much as I like that game, that was a PlayStation exclusive as well. That also did not do the numbers as expected. Kind of lost its luster, and plus they didn't make the game that people wanted, the fans, the gamers, the general populace, which is a turn-based RPG or something RPG in nature, not a Devil May Cry hybrid game. I mean, the sales kind of shows, actually. I like FF16. I like the boss battles. I like the story, everything. And the combat's kind of fun, too. It's like a Devil May Cry light assist kind of deal going on, with higher difficulties for people to go through. It's just not everyone else's cup of tea. And FF7 Remake and Rebirth, it is not going the whole conventional turn-based, fast-paced route. And I guess fans and other newer players were expecting that out of the original, and they didn't get it. In fact, they're getting all their Final Fantasy turn-based JRPG loving from I guess Sea of Stars, the indie game, a couple of the Bravely Default games on Nintendo Switch. Square Enix's their Dragon Quest games have been the same, turn-based combat all the way. I don't like the series, but it's getting a lot of players and all that, so who am I to judge, right? And most importantly, this year, one of the best rated games this year is a JRPG, and it's called Clair Obscur Expedition 33. We gave that 100 out of 100, and yeah, everyone else seemed to be on that boat with that same sentiment. So it's just what people want in a sense. Like, and plus, I guess the price tag does help too. But it's got a gorgeous story that you expect from a JRPG. You've got combat that you expect from a JRPG with a bunch of new mechanics like the parrying and whatnot, the parrying and the way you fight bosses and the way they handle each character, different skills and all that. So this could be a wake-up call from Square for Square Enix, a wake-up call for them, where Naoki Hamaguchi and co will need to restructure. Well, they can't really do that for FF7 Rebirth, the next entry of the third entry, because they've already established that for the first two. So the third game needs to be like kind of same but kind of different as well, trying to lean towards a turn-based strategic aspect. They can't really change course considering they are almost done with that game, maybe one more year or so. But at the same time, the team that's making Final Fantasy will need to rethink what their next mothership Final Fantasy title will be. It has to be turn-based. It has to be the story that people can love and relate to with cool characters. And yeah, just look what Persona, Sega, Yakuza Like a Dragon, and Clair Obscur are doing. They're showing that turn-based games work. As long as you make the turn-based action go up by really fast, no need to showcase graphics and all that, make everything snappy and fun and engaging. And yeah, I think the word is engaging, because you don't want to actually have a game where basically you just want to press a bunch of buttons and then things just happen like really quick without much thought. You need to make your boss battles and your combat really invigorating and very involved. That's what those games I mentioned do, and the next Final Fantasy just needs to do that, period. I mean, I'm probably one of the bigger Final Fantasy supporters in the country. I mean, I dedicated quite a bit of stuff that we've written and done on KKP on Final Fantasy stuff. I'm probably the only mark in the team. But at the same time, and even I'm saying that, yeah, Square Enix will need to make a call and make their next Final Fantasy game turn-based. They need to think real hard. Like, the stuff they've done with Bravely Default and Octopath Traveler, those games worked, and those are critically acclaimed. The remake for Romancing Saga 2, that was really good. I wish that game did better numbers, but that is the stuff that we have been looking forward to in an upcoming Final Fantasy game, and Square Enix has not been delivering on that. And it's not just me. The sales numbers just prove otherwise. Just give people what they want, right? It's just basic sales etiquette. I mean, they don't do this. The next Final Fantasy will be that. Final, right?